What the retarded fuck? Okay, am I live again?
Yes, you're alive. Am I alive?
Yeah, it looks like it. Oh my
Okay.
god.
It
What is
sounds much
going
better.
on?
I don't know, but it sounds way better than it did.
What is going on today?
I
I
don't know.
don't know.
I don't know. That's why we're going to change the name.
Today's gonna be the
Mm-hmm. F up Sunday.
or shit.
Yeah. F
Someone
up.
save me
You know what?
Sunday.
F up could be follow up. It could be F up. It could be, many things.
Could be the story of my life. All right.
All
Well,
right. Where was we? We were talking about AOC.
yes. And
And
Arby had been saying she only has 1 degree. I thought you read off 2.
she has a bachelor's in international, a dual uh, program, I guess, in economics and in international studies.
Okay, so it's 1 degree with 2 topics.
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense. But I think we pretty much covered the gist of it. The rest of this video is just going to be making fun of her for 4
Right.
minutes, and
Right.
we already do that anyways. And
Right.
if you want to hear the rest of his opinion, the link will be in the description when we are done.
Right.
Actually, let me
Our
copy and paste that right now.
our thing is that I'd like to see, if not her, anybody that's making threats or anything against any of the ICE officers or police or whatever. I want to
Mhm.
see somebody go to jail. You know,
Oh, I do too.
Jasmine Crockett, Ilhan Omar. I mean, the squad, all of them, and all their squawking that they've been doing. Uh, all of them. I want to see anybody that's up there making these announcements and saying, bring it on. Let's bring it, because Tom Homan's not playing.
Yeah.
It's not my Orcus anymore. We now got we got other people
We're
in.
getting yeah, they gotta get used to this new, administration that doesn't play any bullshit games and dick
Correct.
around.
Right.
Uh,
All right. What
oh,
do we got?
yeah,
And
Arby said it's
again,
just one program. It's just that you took a few economic specific classes in addition to the normal international relations
yeah,
classes.
she did like a yeah, what are they called? Like, I have a HR degree, but I have a psych minor, so it's chosen electives. That I could pick a minor as an elective.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I like me with
What's
the
he
medical
saying?
assisting, but I also had a lot to do with history and stuff like that. So,
Yeah,
um,
she'd feel good in jail. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know if they'd let her have those eyelashes in there with her, though, or
Oh
not.
no, they would not at
So
all.
she would be in deep trouble.
Oh, I got.
Okay, so as we said, this is Second Look Sunday, or right now it's F Up Sunday because everything's going wrong. What
Yes,
do we got?
everything is very
Yeah,
much
and
going
we
wrong.
don't plan on being on long. We're just trying to follow through with all of the things that we did during the week that we found more information on, or that we may have misspoken about. Uh,
Yep. And next,
although,
oh, go
right,
ahead.
I was going to say, although we seldom misspeak, but it's possible. But if we
Seldom have you heard
seldom,
me lately.
we will issue we will issue corrections.
Hmm.
So go
All
ahead,
right.
Rosie.
So
What's up
next I'm
next?
going to go ahead and cover the update on the Gene Hackman situation.
Okay.
Um, let's this is 11 minutes, but I'm going to try to scroll through it and skip the questioning at the end
Yeah.
because
This is
they're
very interesting.
reporters.
This is
So
very interesting.
I will break this up as best I can so I don't get in trouble for whatever, but we're going to go ahead and do this.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Sheriff Hackman Mendoza, Sheriff for Santa Fe, New Mexico, Santa Fe County. On Wednesday, February 26, 2025, at approximately 1:45 p.m., Santa Fe County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched to 1425 Old Sunset Trail, where Gene Hackman, 95, and his wife Betsy Arakawa, 65, and a dog were found deceased. An individual arrived to perform maintenance on the residence, became concerned after receiving no answer, and contacted neighborhood security to conduct a welfare check. Security then checked on the residence and observed Mr. Hackman and Miss Arakawa on the ground, unresponsive, through a window, and called 911. Deputies arrived and gained access to the residence, where they observed Mrs. Arakawa deceased. They continued the search of their home and located Mr. Hackman in a separate area of the residence, also deceased. A German Shepherd was also found deceased, and two other dogs who appeared healthy were located on the property. Deputies then secured the scene and notified the Criminal Investigations Division. Due to the unusual circumstances of two decedents in the residence, there was a concern for scene safety. Santa Fe City Fire personnel and the New Mexico Gas Company were requested to the scene to test for carbon monoxide or other foreign elements. The scene was deemed safe, and approximately 9:30 p.m., a search warrant was issued and executed on the residence. Now, collected from the residence, from this search warrant, there were 2 green and color cell phones, 2 bottles of medication, 1 bottle of over-the-counter Tylenol, My Request medical records, and a 2025 monthly planner calendar. Those items were secured from the residence for evidentiary purposes. The Santa Fe Animal Control Division worked with family to ensure the safety of the 2 surviving dogs. Investigation personnel worked diligently throughout the night and morning to process the scene for evidence. It should be noted there were no apparent signs of foul play. In the early hours of Thursday, February 27, 2025, Mr. Hackman and Ms. Arakawa were transported.
Wait a minute.
the medical-
Come on. There
Well,
was no
what-
foul. Wait a minute. There was no foul play.
according to them, but there's still more going on,
Oh,
and
come
there
on.
is some. There's
Yeah,
some
yeah,
interesting things that are coming up.
Yeah. No foul play. I told you the other day
He
the
said there was
dog.
no signs
Yeah.
of foul play.
Oh, no signs of. Okay, that
Yeah,
doesn't.
it's not like the
her.
door was broken or a window was broken.
Okay.
Obviously, no gunshots. There wasn't blood splatter all over the
Yeah.
place.
The
So,
dogs did it. The dogs did it.
well, we're about to find out. They have a
Okay,
little
go
bit
ahead.
more information.
Okay.
Autopsy was performed. Initial findings noted no external trauma to either individual. The manner and cause of death has not been determined. The official results of the autopsy and toxicology reports are pending. Just today, I spoke to Dr. Jarrell, the pathologist from the New Mexico office of the medical investigator. This was at 2:00 p.m. today. He advised that there were several tests that were submitted to be expedited. She revealed to me the following information. Both individuals tested negative for carbon monoxide.
So it was not carbon monoxide.
Interesting.
An initial interrogation was conducted of Mr. Hackman's pacemaker. This revealed that his last event was recorded on February 17th, 2025.
They were found 10 days after they passed, but they are very quiet, reclusive people. So, of course, no one's going to think anything of it at this point. But what did the pacemaker show? Did it show it was a heart attack? Did they show that there was an angina event? Did they show an AFib event? This is where I'm going with it.
Okay, and that's fine. But so one dies and the other one goes, well, guess what? I'm going to die too. And then the dog
Actually,
goes,
that's not
"Oh,"
unheard of.
I know. And the dog goes, oh, mommy and daddy are dead, so I'm going to die too.
Or the dog got a hold of the pills that
Yeah, that's
spilled.
what I think. The dog took the pills.
There's that possibility.
Yeah.
So, let's continue listening. I know there's a little bit more to go on.
I was advised that a more thorough investigation will be completed. That'll conclude my statement. I will take a few questions, and just so everybody knows, this is an active investigation still. I'll take questions.
Okay, and the questions really aren't that much important at this point. It just kind of getting a little bit more elaborated, and he does not have much more to give. They really do. You said angina. Oh, funny story about that. An elderly woman, well, I was taking my brother to the cardiologist. She went up and she was telling the medical assistant at the desk was like, "So what brings you here?" And she's like, "I have vagina." And I'm just bust up. I'm trying not to laugh out loud, but I'm in my head. I'm rolling because
Oh my
she
God.
actually said vagina, not angina. And it was peaks. This short little, almost 90-year-old woman. It was just too funny.
Well,
I
you don't know.
love it.
She could have been there for vagina. You don't
At the
know.
cardiologist,
Yeah, she
wrong
wanted to, you
gina.
know what I mean? It was an issue of timing, She didn't have time, you know?
The medical assistant at the desk did a great job. She didn't laugh at her,
Yeah.
and not obviously, but and she didn't even miss a
Blink
beat.
an eye.
She did great. Wonderful medical assistant there. She didn't miss a beat. Didn't correct her or anything, but just let it go, and
Mhm.
that was awesome. So, funny story about that. Yes. So, next, I know you wanted me to also. Oh, you wanted me to share those memes. Let me see if I can pull them up
Is that how
really.
is that how we're gonna start off the Zelensky stuff is with the memes? We're gonna
Yes.
go, okay, so we have some corrections that need to be issued regarding Zelensky. So let's get them fixed and out of the way, and then we'll move forward with the detailed reporting behind the scenes.
Yes.
Go
But
go
first,
for it.
we have to share this wonderful meeting that happened. Let me see. Can I blow this baby up?
When Zelensky went crying to Lindsey Graham, because
Yep.
they are best friends. It's legitimized in the news that they are best friends. And he went running, Lindsay, Lindsay.
Well,
Oh,
we got
Trump
a
was
picture of how it went.
yeah, oh, Trump was so mean to me. And Lindsay went, oh baby, it's okay.
Well, here's what that meeting looked like.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, that's about the best meeting I've ever seen. And
Mm-hmm.
obviously, this is a meme before anyone tries to fact check me. Bite me, people. I will tell you to bite me. And then there
Then
was one other picture found of Zelensky, and I can't really complain. Oh my
he was
God, I
up
gotta
on
get this
Capitol
together.
Hill going, oh, Trump was just so mean to me. He hollered at me and said I had to say sorry.
He can buzz off because this is what he looks like to us.
Right.
Don't touch my pearls.
He was clutching his pearls.
How dare you?
Yeah.
That'd be the perfect time to have the "how dare you" moment.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and tap into this Zelensky thing for a minute. Let me let me pause and unmute this. This is another liberal hive mind. Let me jump to where he's actually talking about it and not the meme of the day thing. Um, there we go. I do like this meme, and it's another one that I had shared before this came out, but I absolutely love it. So here we are. Liberal hive mind, and I love it. The door is down the hall and to the left.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of Zelensky. All right, let's continue.
Point here. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into.
Where's my audio?
So let's
It's
roll the
really
tape. All right,
quiet.
folks. The first thing that I want to do is I want to start off with the theme here. I think the key theme is disrespect. And this ought to put it into perspective. There's a hot mic moment that's currently bouncing around that's alleging that Volodymyr Zelensky called J.D. Vance a bitch in his
Ooh.
language. J.D. Vance was attempting to make the point that Ukraine
Yeah. Evidently, he muttered something and the mic picked it up. We're about to see if we can hear it.
Okay.
was struggling to conscript soldiers to the front line of this battle.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring people, you bring them on a
Now, we don't know if
this is 100% confirmed or not, but it certainly seemed like it. And in general, the attitude was just really disrespectful in
Did he?
general. It seemed like he went there to air grievances and to attack and lecture the Trump.
I honestly think he went there to do this on purpose to try and make it look like Trump is siding with Russia.
But did he call J.D. Vance a bitch?
That's what he's trying to get to.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think I heard it.
Okay.
But let's see what else, if he plays it again or goes through it again.
Trump administration.
During 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people, Yeah, this was the situation the same. That people have been dying on the combat line. Nobody stopped him. That we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation. And we signed with him, me, like a new president, in 2019, I signed with him the deal, ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. He broken this ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media.
During the war, everybody has problems, even you. But you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
Like a threat.
That does sound like a threat to a degree. But again, it could also be just saying, look, you don't feel it now, but
'Cause you
once
have-
Russia
yeah.
conquers us, you guys will be next. And,
Right.
we're preventing Russia from coming to you.
Uh-huh.
It's that white knight syndrome thing.
Right.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
You're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he's happens to be right
From
about
the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good
Mr.
position.
I
You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards.
cards.
Right now, you're
I'm very
playing. You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling with the lives of
President.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country. This country. It's back to you.
It still makes me really wonder if Zelensky's putting on a show to provoke World War III, so America has to get into this again.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes me wonder. What do you need, Bubba?
Doing the streaming.
Yes, I am doing the streaming. Do you want to join us?
While we were at that one place, I noticed a spelling error. They spelled "and" with an S.
Oh, so ANS instead of D?
Yeah.
That's a typo. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, welcome to Sunday. So I do wonder how much of this is put on a show to make Trump look bad and turn Europe against him, which led to that whole nonsense that we were talking about with the
Fighter boat.
Norway refusing to refuel
One of
our
boat
submarine
ships.
thing or our ships.
We have
Yeah.
I have an article I pulled on that. You should have.
Yep, it's in the chat.
Okay.
So worst cases, I'll pull that up. But let's get through this a little bit more because I really wonder
And
if this was all on purpose, if
And I
this was
do
a
wanna-
setup.
And I do have one comment. There are a couple of psychologists that I follow that do body language reading.
I watched
and-
one too.
Right. And they're very fascinating, and they give props to Trump for his behavior and
Yeah,
the way he acted.
the way he
and-
controlled himself.
Correct. And if you would hear the left-wing propaganda like, oh my God, he was the worst ever, but yet
No.
he acted way more appropriate than you would believe.
And these body language people are coming at this unbiased as best
Correct.
they can.
Correct.
And I've watched
Exact-
a couple videos on it myself, and they're like,
Mhm.
look, I'm going to do my best to not let my biases in. Let's break this down.
Right. And if you guys are interested in that, we can get their names and drop them into the link, but you have to tell us though. If you don't interact with us, we can't get the information to you.
Oh, Arby
least-
corrected something. So
Yeah.
it was a private company and the Norwegian government put out a statement that it's not government policy and they need to support the US military. So this was
Uh,
a private industry thing that
well,
decided to
let's
go in their own direction according to
okay.
Norway.
Let's see what the propaganda said with the article that we found. Okay, and then RB, if we need to stand corrected, as always, we will. Uh, Send us your source, please, just so that we can keep everything copacetic.
Yep. I
Okay.
really appreciate links. Let's
Thank
listen
you.
a little bit more and see if he really does say bitch.
Okay.
Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once?
Please. You think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can.
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No. You've done a lot of talking.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful. Because let me tell you, you don't have the
I
cards.
still hold he should have used grateful or humble instead of
Mhm.
thankful.
Yeah.
I think a better wording could have been used, but that's us. We know that. Okay, Arby's gonna look for that source. All right.
Okay.
Let's I hate when they play the whole darn thing. I really want to just hear the part where he supposedly called him a bitch.
With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards. It'll be a tough deal to make because the attitudes have to change.
And I think Trump was absolutely right. The tone was unappreciative and frankly hard-headed. It's almost as if he went in there to antagonize Donald Trump, which doesn't make any sense.
Actually, it does if you're trying to turn Europe against America. It makes perfect sense. But let's continue.
Because firstly, Trump's the one paying the damn bills.
Oh, for fudge's sake. I'm going to put up an ad blocker.
And secondly,
I
we all know the
apologize.
intentions
I
of the
gotta
Trump
get one.
administration.
I hope I'm going to be remembered as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing if we could do this. I'm doing this to save lives more than anything else.
The Trump administration wants diplomacy. They want to end this conflict. And frankly, it seems like Volodymyr Zelensky has a problem with that, and he can't accept it, and he wants to fight to the bitter end. And kind of the vibe that I'm getting is it feels almost as if Volodymyr Zelensky has a very, very big personal grudge against Vladimir Putin. It's personal for him, and it seems as though he's almost willing to sacrifice to the end. And what does that mean? That means sacrificing American and European taxpayer dollars, and of course, Ukrainian lives, young Ukrainian lives, the future of this country. You know, at what point does it become enough? At what point do we stop this white and black narrative of unimpeachable good guy versus the absolutely evil other side, a viewpoint, a worldview that will see this needless conflict go on for decades? At what point do we stop and start negotiating and start bringing both sides, both perspectives, and stop viewing this from a one-sided lens? And that's not to say that Russia is a utopic state that did nothing wrong. Russia is a corrupt communist authoritarian regime. I'm not a big fan, but the idea that we can't come to the table and we can't listen to both sides and both grievances with an actual open mind and try to figure out how to end this damn thing, it's just not rational. And again, how many more hundreds of thousands of lives must be sacrificed for the military ambitions of one man on both sides? It's got to freaking stop. And that's the conversation that I think most people are clamoring for, frankly. But apparently that's so offensive to Volodymyr Zelensky that he felt the need to come to Washington and disrespect the president of the United States in the Oval Office. Really, I think a bad freaking move, an inadvisable move. In fact, it was so bad that it even seemingly turned Lindsey Graham against him. And you know the significance of that, of course. Lindsey Graham, possibly the biggest warmonger in the Senate. Lindsey Graham, who used to be Volodymyr Zelensky's #1 fan. Lindsey Graham, whose previous stance was, we will fight this to the last person, or rather, Ukraine will fight this to their last person.
I like the structural path we're on here. As long as we have Ukraine with the weapons they need and the economic support, they will fight to the last person.
Lindsey Graham, I mean, a real fanboy of Volodymyr Zelensky.
I want to tell you and your people, you're the ally I've been hoping for all my life. Not one American has died defending Ukraine, and I'm very proud to have you as our ally.
Yeah, well, it seems even Lindsey Graham is dropping Volodymyr Zelensky. I think, honestly, a lot of people had their eyes open today. And I think Trump's conclusion of the meeting really hit the nail on the head. A statement from President Donald J. Trump. We had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure. It's amazing what comes out through emotion. And I've determined that President Zelensky is not ready for peace if America is involved, because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. I don't want advantage. I want peace. He disrespected the United States of America and its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he is ready for peace. I think that pretty much sets the tone. People want peace. They want an end to this conflict. They want stability returned to the region. And clearly the president of Ukraine is not ready for it. It seems to offend him, and I think that's really rubbing people the wrong way. And I know the left media is going to run with this idea that Trump's a Russian stooge, once again doing the bidding of Vladimir Putin. What a disaster. What an embarrassment. Yada, yada, yada. I don't think this was embarrassing at all.
Oh, 1 second.
It was frankly needed, and this is the exact...
What was that you were saying?
That's the one part that I don't like out of this, that it's going to be Russia, Russia, Russia.
I think we all are at that point that we're sick of hearing it like that.
I mean, that's the frustration of no matter what he attempts to do, he's doing Putin's favor.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you get to change millions and millions of people's mindset. You know, they were, well, we have that to bring up as well, which I guess, or is that going to be our next? Let's finish this and then we'll talk about what we're bringing up next.
Well, this one's actually done at this point.
Okay.
He's already expressed his point. So, what were you going to say?
Did he call him a bitch? Did he call him a bitch?
I didn't hear it, but it's very possible because my hearing is garbage.
So we have the two pieces of one occurred in Washington and the other was up in, where were they? Was it Rhode Island? Yeah, it was up in Rhode Island where J.D. Vance took his family to go skiing, and he was met by protesters, and they were freaking out of control. And then Washington, D.C. was deluged with people, you know, going crazy, holding up Ukraine signs, you know, taking a Amazon box and using a black Sharpie and, you know, write nasty notes to Trump. Well, you know what I say? I'm at this point, and I stand by it. Anybody that was holding up a Ukraine sign that is for them, they need to go over there and fight for them. Just let's pack them up and ship them out. You know what I mean? They're not going to stand for America first. They're not going to, you know, take a look at everything that's being said and done. They're going to go and jump immediately without finding out facts. Let's ship them off. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of it. I really am. And it's frustrating, you know, as an American citizen who should be flying the American flag, not any other country's flag. Now, that's not to say if I'm an immigrant that I might not have that flag at my house, okay? But to be out on the street waving, and that goes for the Israel and Hamas fight too. Take your flag and go. This is ridiculous. And comments were made that when you look at the majority of people in the audience who's doing this, and if we take a look at, play a couple of these videos, Crazy B, and the statement was made that they are basically white liberal women, and I'd like to confirm whether that's true or not.
Yeah.
So
that can be a tomorrow. Well, no, tomorrow I've got physical therapy, so
okay. So you don't want to pull those two up now and just go through them now real quick?
Where did you have those at?
I sent them up early on.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm still processing the notes and everything as we go.
Yeah. If there's something else you'd rather put up, go ahead and put it up.
Well, we still have the stuff about the you have that thing from Rubio when he was setting the record straight.
Yeah.
And the Norway stuff, which still ties into the Zelensky. So I was thinking.
Hold off on the Norway stuff because I want to see what Arby sent us.
Oh, I already have that. I already have that.
Okay.
Yep. So if you want, we can go over it really quick or go over it in order.
Yeah. Why don't we do, I'd like to do Rubio's since we just played the White House piece again. And I believe I'm actually, to be quite honest, shocked at Rubio's response. I always considered Rubio more of a rhino than what you're about to hear from him.
Yeah.
And if this is true, if his position is what he's going to take as far as supporting Trump, he couldn't have picked a better Secretary of State.
Okay.
So,
Let's share
let's,
this.
okay.
Let me minimize my notes. I am so sorry, everybody. I am all over the place.
We told you it's either Second Look Sunday or F Up Sunday. And F Up could stand for many things. So
Yep.
we just have to decide what kind of Sunday it's going to be.
Yes. All right. So let's share Rubio. And we'll try and get through as much of this as possible. It is 10 minutes, and I don't want to cause a problem, but we will break it up and interject as we feel fit to. So let's hit play.
Secretary of State, who is in that room today, Marco Rubio. Thank you so much, Secretary Rubio, for being here. We just heard from President Zelensky. He said he does not think that he owes President Trump an apology for what happened inside the Oval Office today. Do you feel otherwise?
I do, because you guys don't see. You guys only saw the end. You saw what happened to all the things that led up to this. So let me explain. The president's been very clear. He campaigned on this. He thinks this war should have never started. He believes, and I agree, that the president, it never would have happened. Now here we are. He's trying to bring an end to this conflict. We've explained very clearly what our plan is here, which is we want to get the Russians to a negotiating table. We want to explore whether peace is possible. They understand this. They also understand that this agreement that was supposed to be signed today was supposed to be an agreement that binds America economically to Ukraine, which to me, as I've explained, I think the president alluded to today, is a security guarantee in its own way, because we're involved. It's not us, it's our interests. Now, that was all explained. That was all understood. And nonetheless, for the last 10 days, and every engagement we've had with the Ukrainians, there's been complications in getting that point across, including the public statements that President Zelensky has made. But they insisted on coming to D.C. This agreement could have been signed 5 days ago, but they insisted on coming to Washington, and it should have been a very clear understanding. Don't come here and create a scenario where you're going to start lecturing us about how diplomacy isn't going to work. President Zelensky took it in that direction, and it ended in a predictable outcome as a result. It's unfortunate. No one's supposed to be this way, but that's the path he chose. And I think, frankly, sends his country backwards in regards to achieving peace, which is what President Trump wants at the end of the day, is for this war to end. He's been as consistent as anyone can be about what his objective is here.
But what specifically do you want to see President Zelensky apologize for?
Well, apologize for turning this thing into the fiasco for him that it became. There was no need for him to go in there and become antagonistic. Look, this thing went off the rails. You were there, I believe. It went off the rails when he said, let me ask you a question to the vice president. What kind of diplomacy are you talking about? Well, this is a serious thing. I mean, thousands of people have been killed, thousands. And he talks about all these horrible things that have happened to prisoners of war, and all true, all bad. This is what we're dealing with here. It needs to come to an end. We are trying to bring it to an end. The way you bring it to an end is you get Russia to the table to talk. And he understands that attacking Putin, no matter how anyone feels about him personally, forcing the president into a position where you're trying to go him into attacking Putin, calling him names, maximalist demands about Russia having to pay for the reconstruction, all the sorts of things that you talk about in a negotiation. When you start talking about that aggressively, and the president's a deal maker, he's made deals his entire life, you're not going to get people to the table. And so you start to perceive that maybe Zelensky doesn't want a peace deal. He says he does, but maybe he doesn't.
And what do you think, Dee? Does he want that peace deal, or is he full of shit?
I think he wants the money, honey.
I thought so too.
I think he wants the money. And
I'm
until
beginning to think it's the case, yeah.
we still, in everything that we have found, remember, he didn't get all the money that they claim that they're putting out there. The money went to OAR. But we still haven't found out an accounting thing of the money he did receive. Where is it? So we don't know for sure, and we don't know where the kickbacks came back to. So that is a whole nother can of worms to go down. And again, if you guys are interested in something like that from the money perspective, that's something that we can do. It's just, we basically, if we stay on this path, we're going to be doing nothing but Ukraine and Russia for the next 6 months.
And
'Cause
that's not good.
yeah, there's so much just in that realm alone, but then there's also so much going on that we don't want to miss. So we're trying to gather as much detailed information that is unusual that you won't hear in other places. And then, we're going and trying to tie, and find things that contradict things. Is it propaganda? What's really the driver behind it? And also, you're just going to get our opinion, and uh, most of the time we agree, but there are times we disagree, and that's fine. And
We
uh,
get through it.
yeah, we get through it. We work through it, and then what we try to do is we bring our work forward, right? And we say, well, this is why I found this, or I found that, and these are the reasons why. It isn't just that we go make a blanket statement. Well, it's just because. It's because of the information that we found and that we've shared.
Yeah. Well,
So that
Arby, some papers that he had sent, the Pandora papers that are in my
uh-huh,
server that you saw,
right?
that is something we need to cover on Tuesday when we have more time and we've already read over it.
Okay.
Um, yeah, because it covers where some of that money went that we were
Okay.
talking about.
Okay, cool.
So that's
Good.
something I want to aim for Tuesday for that one, because I know Monday I've got physical therapy at 11 a.m. and it's going to hurt like hell.
Yeah, and I have a doctor's appointment myself.
Yep.
So we're
So,
not available on Monday.
but let's get through the rest of this video while we've
Okay.
got a chance.
Okay.
And that active, open undermining of efforts to bring about peace is deeply frustrating for everyone who's been involved in communications with them leading up to today. And I think
But
we
can I
should
ask you-
apologize for wasting our time for a meeting that was going to end the way it did.
You yourself have said previously that Putin cannot be trusted in negotiations. That was the point that President Zelensky was ultimately making during that conversation, is that there cannot be an agreement without security guarantees, because he was talking about all the ceasefire agreements before, or agreements that Putin has just blown past. I mean, do you still feel that way? That Putin cannot be trusted in these negotiations?
Well, I was there yesterday when the president said in front of the media that our approach is going to be trust but verify. President Trump's made deals his entire life. He's not going to get suckered into some deal that's not a real deal. We all understand this. We understand it on our end for certain. And so the goal here is to get to a place where we have to explore whether peace is possible. I've said this repeatedly. I don't know. I think it is, based on what they've said so far. But we have to explore that. How else is this war going to end? I ask people, what is the European plan to end this war? I can tell you what one foreign minister told me, and I'm not going to say who it was, but I can tell you what one of them told me, and that is that the war goes on for another year. And at that point, Russia will feel so weakened that they'll beg for peace. That's another year of killing, another year of dying, another year of destruction. And by the way, not a very realistic plan in my point of view. So if there's a chance of peace, even if it's a 1% chance, that needs to be explored. And that's what President Trump is trying to do here.
President Trump said just when he was leaving the White House after that meeting that he doesn't think President Zelensky wants peace. But isn't that why the Ukrainian leader was in the Oval Office for that meeting today?
Well, he was in the Oval Office to sign a minerals rights deal. That's what he was in the Oval Office to sign today. But again, when you have comments that deliberately appear to be deliberate,
yeah, he did not sign it. Exactly. And now, days later, he's begging to come back and sign it because he
Right.
knows he ain't got shit to work
messed up.
with.
Right. He didn't need to come to the White House to sign that document. There was no reason for him to come.
Other than to sign it publicly.
Well, that and to stir up shit. He wanted to stir the pot. He wanted to be able to go meet with people on Capitol Hill and do the woe is me bullcrap. That's what he was here for.
It doesn't work like that.
Correct.
It does not work like that here, buddy.
But it did under the Biden regime.
Oh, no
right?
one gives a shit about Biden now.
Right.
This is a different story. This is a different leader. And I am at the point I'm sick of it.
What I'd be curious to know, too, is who did he get to meet with? You know what I mean? Like, he met with Lindsey Graham. Who else took his meetings? I'm curious.
I don't know, but I know a couple other countries are trying to pat him on the back and tell him, oh, it's okay, we'll help you. Except none of them are prepared on the level that they should be.
And I don't like that the other countries are also doing that. Oh, Donald Trump was so mean to him.
Mm-hmm.
His behavior was out of control. You know, why couldn't he
His
be
behavior
nicer
was
to
just
him?
fine.
Yeah, uh-huh. Well, let me tell you this. Those other countries know what they're up against too, and let them come to the White House and they can have a little taste too.
Yep. And here's the thing, though, is we saw Zelensky do this shit, but Trump met with Putin,
Yes, he
and
did.
the thing is it was a closed door thing. The actual negotiation part was closed door, no cameras.
Well, and it would be.
And we don't know if Trump gave Putin the same attitude.
Right. Well,
Very likely he
there
did.
is. They said in 20 there they said that it was on a recording, that it was not on a like a live or
Yeah.
a video camera, that Trump did give Putin the same type of message, that he wasn't playing around. So he pretty much reiterated to Putin what he did to Zelensky.
But everyone, because the Zelensky chew out was public, and I
Mm-hmm.
believe it was on purpose to give Trump a bad look, make it
Right.
look like he's siding with Russia. I do believe it was all on purpose as a bad publicity stunt type of thing. It
But I
makes sense.
but I also look at it too as a positive publicity stunt, in that
Oh,
Europe, you know what I mean? FAFO, right?
yeah, that's us. That's our perspective. But, the whiny little brats that can't handle any stress, they're the
Right,
ones who are screaming how bad it is.
right. Well, that's
And
what.
you got Europe coddling Zelensky,
Uh,
and they're just going to say, okay, no, America, we're not dealing with you, and go after Russia on their own.
okay,
And then when they're about to get their asses whooped, then they're going to come crying to us for help, like
right.
they did in World War One and Two.
That's correct. They're not putting up anything. And in fact, what did Trump say? After all these many years, they're still not contributing. Wasn't it NATO that was to contribute 2%? Or was that the
The
WHO?
UN or the
The
EU.
UN. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
NATO, NATO is what they're supposed to pay into, but the group paying is the EU. Yeah.
okay. So I thought there was something though with funding or something with
Oh, yeah,
NATO.
there's a lot of problems because no one's paying their part except the
Okay.
US. Well, no one's seriously paying their parts.
Okay.
So,
So it is an issue of the United States is supporting the whole of the.
about 75%.
Okay. All right. Well, what does that say?
A lot.
Let's take our ball and go home.
Yep. And I agree with Arby on this. Putin it probably doesn't have his eyes on the rest of Europe. I don't think he's going to try taking over because he knows it would go wrong. So they have to
So
come to peace.
so what are we saying here, that Putin still wants that part of Ukraine?
That's
The
it.
part of
We don't think he's
Ukraine?
going to go further than there.
Yeah. So he just wants that Russian piece of Ukraine, and then he's going to be happy.
Well, in the path to the Baltic Sea,
Okay.
or the Black Sea. Sorry, Black Sea. So I think that's it. But
Okay. All
let's
right.
the rest of this.
Having discussed this repeatedly, deliberately appear to be geared towards making the argument that peace is not possible. Again, he turns to the vice president. What kind of diplomacy are you talking about? Almost as if to say, these people, you can't deal with them. You can't have any negotiations with Putin because he can't be trusted, and you're just wasting your time on negotiations. Well, he's directly, basically undermining everything the president has told him he's trying to do. Look, there's no need for that. You start to suspect, does he really want an end to this war? Does he just think that, we have to do whatever he says and give him anything he wants without any end game? That was a Biden strategy. We were funding a stalemate. We were funding a meat grinder. And unfortunately, for the Ukrainians, the Russians have more meat to grind, and they don't care about human life. We've seen it, human waves, and North Koreans, etc. And so this is a very complex thing. It's very delicate. It's very costly. It's very bloody. It needs to be brought to an end, but it isn't going to be brought to an end with public pronouncements and maximalist demands in the public, but in real diplomacy. The vice president was right.
And there were also some statistics.
Hold on, let me get past this commercial really quick.
Okay.
So that way we can hear you
cold,
good.
bite through your skin.
When you
Okay, go ahead.
There were some statistics that I sent up that showed what the people, where Zelensky was saying in the office, he goes, ask my people what they want regarding a stalemate. And
Uh-huh.
there are some stats showing how they feel about Zelensky and how they feel about the war. And initially, they were around 74, 75%, and they've now tanked to around 47, 45%. So his country is feeling the effects of the war.
Yeah.
I mean, they've actually had, to my knowledge of what I've seen, where they've had men in their 60s have to go fight on the front lines.
Yeah.
Uh, so they're taking every abled person that they possibly can to fight.
Yeah. It's kind of like what I was saying earlier today when we were talking is those videos that all of a sudden popped up that I've never seen before of people being pulled off the streets and thrown into vans to fight for Ukraine.
Right,
I've never seen those online until Vance said something in that meeting. And then all of a sudden all these videos pop up. Where the
uh-huh.
hell were they beforehand?
Well,
It
does that
makes you
mean that
wonder.
are they true and Biden just never showed us, or is that propaganda?
Bingo.
We don't know.
And that's why I'm not quite sure it's time to share them, but it's something to keep your eyes out for
Okay.
because it very well may be just a load of crap. And
Mm-hmm.
if it was something that was really happening, again, people are going to leak that shit everywhere. If it was real, and we would have seen that months ago.
True.
People online they'll do that
They
in a
don't hold
heartbeat, but
back.
the
Yeah.
timing is what makes me think it's propaganda.
Okay.
That's the only reason it makes me think those videos are propaganda is because of the timing. We've seen leaked footage and stuff from like the beginning of the Ukraine war. No one had a problem putting out leaked footage.
Right. Right.
So if this was really this bad in Ukraine, it would have been out sooner.
Okay.
I think it's American
That makes
propaganda
sense.
trying to make Zelensky look bad, whether it's real or not. Even if they are, let's say they are forced recruiting. They're basically doing a draft. They're
Right.
dragging people to it. The fact they're throwing them in black vans and driving off, that could be staged
Right.
anywhere.
Right.
So, yeah, like I said, I'm playing this from as neutral of a standpoint as possible, despite my own opinions of yes, we should help Ukraine because of our agreement from the 90s, and we should be helping them. But I also am realistic enough to know that Russia and Ukraine have both done wrong, and now we've got America possibly throwing propaganda into the mix. And I'm not. I'm open-minded enough to realize that yes, America could be using this for a reason, and the timing of those videos is very suspicious.
Well, when you see all the money, right, that has come back to the US from the OAR,
Yeah,
right, it makes you go,
exactly. And this is where I'm not siding with Russia. I'm not siding with Ukraine. And hell, I'm not sure I'm even siding with America on this one
right,
because we need to look at this and everyone who is corrupt in the process needs to be dealt with.
right.
So, all
And
right,
I
let's try
think
getting
that's why
through. Oh, go ahead.
I think that's why there's a big issue with Doge and with Trump making changes to so many things that, they're worried that they're going to find stuff out, or they're going to be led down a path that, stuff that like we're talking about, they're going to go and they're going to find something and heads are going to roll, or, we're going to hear of things that we didn't know about at all.
I gotta show this. Hold on. I gotta show this. It is too fucking funny. Give me 1 second. Arby just sent me this. Um, where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Here it is. Boom. You see it?
Hold on.
Insult to injury. Trump changes Netflix password, and now Zelensky has to get his own account.
How true it is, huh? How true it is.
I love it. I love it. I got to make sure I stop sharing it so I don't show the rest of the messages and stuff. We're not trying to do that, but no, it's true. Zelensky is way too dependent on us. All of
Right.
Europe is way too dependent on us. They have
Right.
gotten complacent, and that is when the worst shit happens. Thinking about this strategically, if I was in Russia's position, it is the perfect time. It is. Everyone's so damn complacent, they ain't got shit together. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have anything ready. Nobody's properly trained. It is the perfect time if someone wanted to go on a land grab mission, but I don't think he's going to go to Europe. I think he will contain and control himself. But the problem is, Europe's going to sit there and say, no, fight to the death. Well, that ain't going to take long. Maybe 6 months to a year, and all of Europe will be at its knees. And guess who's going to come to the rescue?
China.
That ain't a rescue. That's not
Well,
a rescue.
I don't know. How about it? Yeah, you're right. Not a rescue. It's going to be a domination.
Yes. They're stupid if you think about this with logic and strategy. They are very stupid. Let's try to get through some more of this interview. Yeah, let's try.
Say they don't care about life. Are you talking about the Russians or the Ukrainians?
Well, the Russians, I mean, they're conscripting by the hundreds of thousands. They brought in North Korean troops that were slaughtered in Kursk, and they keep going because they got more people. That's the other fact. Look at it. Again, we go back to the same point. I'm not going to fall into the trap of who's bad and who's evil. People can make those conclusions. People have seen how this narrative is played out and where we are today and how this all started and so forth. The point now is it has to end. And the way it ends is you get people to a negotiating table. And the president, who's the ultimate deal maker, knows you don't get people to a negotiating table when you're calling them names and you're accusing them of things. Because at the end of the day, this is not a political campaign. Okay, this is high stakes international diplomacy and an effort to bring about an end to a very, very dangerous war.
But you yourself, sir, have said before that you believe Putin is a war criminal, that is a widely accepted fact.
Yes, and so is Zelensky, and
Right.
so is Xi Jinping,
So is Biden.
and
so
Obama, and
yeah.
both Bushes. Can we
Right.
continue with who's a war criminal?
Right.
Throw a dart, and there's a country with a president as a war criminal.
Yep.
I'm so sick of this. He's a war criminal. Dude, go put your pearls in a corner. All of our leaders are war criminals at one point or another, except Trump. He's the only one who hasn't done anything 100% illegal.
Correct.
Well,
Keep going.
hold on. Well, inbred Eastern Europeans aren't known for intelligence, so yeah. Oh, hey, outlaw. Yeah, I'm absolutely done with the pointing of screaming, he's a war criminal. Motherfucker, shut up. Okay, we're going back to this.
Called him a butcher. And you said that as a Secretary of State, you do believe it's important for someone with such global influence as you have to speak with that kind of moral clarity.
Yeah, and at this moment, as Secretary of State, my job working for the president is to deliver peace, to end this conflict and end this war. Ultimately, that is the job of the State Department. The State Department doesn't fight wars, it ends them. It tries to end them. And that's usually, by the way, celebrated. I mean, throughout history, I've watched presidents that bring about an end to wars and conflicts, and people celebrate that. They applaud it. I think we should be very...
With the exception of Vietnam, but we'll cover that on a different topic. But yeah, that was the one war that really wasn't well celebrated. Let's continue.
Proud and happy that we have a president whose prime objective is not to get into wars, but to prevent wars and to get out of wars. That is a very noble, laudable goal. Everyone should be applauding it, and he should be given the space to do that, not undermine the demands that he called Putin names or that we say things that impede the ability to conduct real diplomacy, as the Vice President said today.
To follow up on what you just said a moment ago, are you saying that you have doubts that President Zelensky wants this war to come to an end?
What I have doubts about is whether he's willing to say and do the things that we need in order to get a negotiation. Again, this has been going on for 10 days, and to see things in the press saying we're not coordinating with the Ukrainians, that's absolutely false. Over the last 10 days, the Ukrainians have met with the Secretary of Commerce, the Secretary of State, the Vice President of the United States, had a phone call with President Trump, and he was in the Oval Office today. I talked to the Foreign Minister of Ukraine 3 times in the last 10 days. The argument that we're not engaging, but yet you keep reading these press accounts about, they're leaving us out. We're not involved. We're not engaged. None of these things are true, and it continues. So all that led up to today in a deep sense of frustration. And my hope is that this all can be reset and maturity can kick in and some pragmatism, because this war tonight, people will die in Ukraine. Tonight, people will die in this conflict. We're trying to bring an end to this conflict, which is unsustainable. It's an unsustainable, bloody war that has to come to an end. And right now, the only leader in the world that can even have a chance of bringing about an end to this is named President Donald Trump. And we need to give him the opportunity to try and do that. And when you see efforts to impede it, when you tell someone, don't say, let's not talk about these things, let's not go in this direction, because it makes it harder for us to engage, and they insist on doing it anyways, you start to wonder. I don't like to impugn people's motives, but you start to wonder what's behind it. So look, again, let's hope that this can be solved. But I'm not sure after today.
You don't believe that this could be, you're not sure that this can be salvaged? I mean, can this relationship between Zelensky and Trump be repaired in your view?
I think anything is possible, but it has to go back to the point that President Trump is interested in being involved in this for the purposes of bringing about an enduring and lasting peace.
Okay, so I love how the newscaster keeps trying to frame this in the most negative way possible.
That it's Trump's,
She's
Trump's
always
issue.
making it look like it is such a negative thing that happened.
Right.
Okay, and I'll say this again, and I've said it like I did before. Trump and Vance looked like two parents scolding their teenager, taking away the keys to the car and the cell phone, and told him to go to his room and think about his behavior.
Right.
That's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
I do that with my kids. I hate the way the media spins this shit. I really hate the way they do this. And again, this is because normally negotiations are behind closed doors and we don't actually see the president scolding people for being
Right.
idiots.
Yeah, you're not going to know the ins and outs and the little things that nuances that went on behind closed doors. You're just not. It would
And
never be
so,
done. It would never be done in public.
and the fact that Zelensky pushed the public to see it, I
Because
half
why?
wonder is on purpose. I
It
think he did this on purpose.
because why? He wanted to gain the sympathy of the American people, and what happened? They came out in semi-force for him with their protests, right?
Yeah, I believe this is Caitlin Collins, like you asked, Arby.
Right. Caitlin Collins. Yeah. That's our lovely Caitlin,
I
who
didn't
has
want to
been,
forget, so I pinned it for a second.
yeah, she's been banned from the White House press poll for her aggressiveness towards
Yeah.
Caroline Leavitt. Yep.
Yeah, but she spells it with a K. Okay.
Correct. Yes.
Yep. So, yeah, and I don't like the way this is happening. And this is, again, our media playing the propaganda game. Instead of coming at this neutrally and asking from a neutral standpoint. So where's it going to go from here? What do you see coming next? Nope. Isn't it a bad thing he did this? Are they ever going to repair this?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they're not dating. They're not engaged. They're
Mm-hmm.
frickin' politicians.
Right.
Quit asking like it's a frickin' romantic relationship. Like, I don't know. Am I the only one with, are we the only ones with brains? Or maybe we should be in charge of the media. I think people who are not journalists, but actually give a shit, are going to ask better questions than these frickin' people at CNN, MSNBC, Fox. None of them ask the right questions.
And none of them give the pushback either. You know what I mean? When a statement's made, they don't give a pushback. Well, why this? Why that? They just go on to their next stupid question. I'll say this too. I think that Sean Hannity is a terrible interviewer.
Yeah.
His questions are ridiculous. He doesn't do good follow-up questions. There's no spontaneity to him.
And the only time they give pushback is if there's a Republican or
Right.
That's
Right.
there.
I would agree
Nobody
with that.
seems to give pushback on the Democrats. Or
Mm.
it's like, dude, I'd be hounding this. They'd be hating me for all the questions I have for them.
Right. And
Like,
Arby's right. Half the American voter base, they believe in this globalist
uh-huh.
ideology, right? And why is that? Why isn't it America first? Because of, I'm going to blame it on our educational system as well as our family system. You know, I got a flag flying right outside my door. My grandson knows the Pledge of Allegiance. My grandson will tell you Donald Trump's been the best president that the world has ever seen. In fact, he bought, I digress. It is F Up Sunday, so we get to do what we want. He came in with a leprechaun, huge orange mask, fuzzy mask, green hat, and he took my cane, right? After he took the beard and everything off, he goes, "Watch this, Nene." And he stuck it on his head and he goes, "Now I'm Donald Trump." And it looked just like so I'll get a couple pictures of it. It looks exactly like Donald Trump's hair. I'm like, okay, well, that's good. We're going to get multi-use out of this one. We
Well,
can
it's
use it
great
for.
that such a young kid is aware
Mhm.
and being exposed.
Right. And not that Trump's the be all end all. I don't want anybody to think that.
I
There are
want
times. There are
to
times he opens up his mouth and I just cringe. And I'm like, please shut up. Just shut up. You were ahead. Just shut up now, you know?
Well,
And
I like the way JD Vance has been handling some of this.
yes. He's a good, uh,
He's like a
bounce.
counterweight to
Correct.
Trump's
Exactly.
brashness.
Correct.
And I do like that. I
Mhm.
really do like it.
And I'm impressed at what I've seen from him because I really wasn't into him
Yeah.
at the beginning. But, you know, if he shows this type of fortitude the next 4 years, I could see him potentially being the next president of the United States.
I could see him doing 8 years with
Mhm.
if he keeps it up.
Mhm.
But the question is who's going to be his VP and who comes after him.
Right. Well, I just want to get through. I'm just praying we make it to a Republican for 2028. That's all.
Yeah, we can go from there.
Right.
But it's getting wild, folks.
Mhm.
It's getting wild.
All right. So buckle up and we'll try to finish up F Up Sunday.
Do we want to finish the last minute of this or do we want to just say screw her?
We'll just screw this and what else do we got on the agenda?
Well, we got that stuff on the Norway with the NATO telling them to knock it off and then Norway claiming it wasn't them. Do we want to do this in order?
We could do that. And do you want to finish up then? Or what do you want to
Basically, we've been on for over an hour now, if you consider the original
why
one.
don't we do the Norway piece? And do you have the piece that Arby sent to go with it too?
Yes, I do have
Okay.
his as well.
I didn't get to read that, so I'll take that at face value. So go ahead, pop that up.
Alrighty. Where's my share this screen? There we go. All right, so Daily Mail. Oh my God, these pop-ups! I swear I'm getting an ad blocker. I promise.
Hold on a second, because I have the ad blocker. That's the one I sent, right?
Yes, this is the one you sent. We're going to cover in order what was first said versus what was response to it.
Okay, what time was that sent, dear? Do you have it? A time?
That was this morning. Really early, wasn't it? Hold on.
We work hard for you people, just so you know. All hours, morning, noon, and night. We drive each other crazy. I'm going to have to train. You could be Crazy B. Well, you are, and I should just change my name to Crazy D.
Yeah, there we go.
You know?
You sent this at 9:13 this morning.
Okay. Which
And
was
then obviously Arby just sent his. So
yeah, and that was 8:13 your time.
No, 9:13 my time, so 10:13 your time. I apologize. She's Eastern, I'm West, I'm Central. So
you're Western? Oh yeah, well you're west of me.
Yeah, something like that. Anyways, let's hit play.
Okay, go ahead.
Uiterst ongelukkig. Ik heb ook een paar contact over gehad met Zelensky. En gezegd
oh shit. It's all in
kijken hoe je weer je relatie
a language I can't
opnieuw bouwt met
understand.
Amerikanen.
So let's enlarge
Met de
this.
Amerikaanse president. Nou,
I thought this was extremely. Damn it! I can't pause it to read it.
That's
Oh, you
fun.
ass wipes. And now I can't.
Hold on a
No!
second. Let me get to mine. Hold
No,
on a
I
minute.
can't. I can't see. No! Biatch, go back. Hold on. Oh my god. I can't shrink the screen now. It's frozen. Let me refresh. Oh my god. Okay, so you know what? Is there a breakdown? Okay, there was a
I'm back in February. I'm back in February for some reason, so I got to get back to March.
Oh my god. I just can I call it a week? Okay, so um oh my god, can I enlarge this and read
Yeah,
it?
hold on a second. Yeah, so this was at. You're saying this was today?
Yeah. Or was it yesterday? Oh, wrong person. Hold on. Um it looks like hold on. Oh, it was from March 2nd
Yeah,
today at 10:13 this morning.
I don't have it in my. Oh, wait a second. It helps to be in the right thing.
Oh my god, you're doing one of
I'm
my
looking. I'm like,
numbers.
I'm under podcast stuff, and meanwhile, I need to
No,
be.
what's in our DMs?
I know. Now I'm in the right. I'll get there. Hold on a second. Okay. Uh, you can tell how organized we are. We're working on different setups. That's what we're doing. Okay, so there's that. Now why?
It's just going to be one of those days. At least you guys can laugh at us.
Yeah, I have the NATO thing. I have the hot mic thing. I have the please forgive me. I don't have it, and I'm done. I'm out. I'm
I
done.
got
You,
it.
you
I'm
put
going
it
to
up
do my
there.
best to read through it.
So
So,
I can read the screen. I'll read it.
okay. Do you need
No,
me
I
to
can't.
enlarge it more?
No, I can enlarge it, but you're in the way, so you got to read it.
I'll
Go ahead.
scroll it up and
Oh,
then
that's cool. All right.
I can scroll as you read.
Okay, so Ruth's dire warning to the wartime president comes as Zelensky duked it out with Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance in the Oval Office over the conditions of a possible ceasefire with Russia. Tempers flared on all sides, with Trump threatening to abandon Ukraine completely if Zelensky didn't agree to his peace terms. He and Vance also repeatedly accused Zelensky of not being grateful for America's sustained military support of Ukraine, which has totaled to roughly $100 billion according to one recent estimate. How'd we go from 350 to 100?
I have no clue.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Zelensky showed pictures of the devastation of his country to Trump while also arguing he had thanked the American people for their aid. The yelling match was unlike anything ever seen publicly in the Oval Office, and it played out on TV screens across the world.
All right. There's a little bit between the two images. Can you see that?
NATO chief Mark Rutte revealed he told Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky that he needs to find a way to restore his relationship with President Donald Trump after their meeting went horribly wrong at the White House. I'm rather shocked, to be honest, that the
Uh-huh.
NATO said that. Trump and Zelensky are seen in the Oval Office arguing over how a wind down to the war between Ukraine and Russia should look like.
Yep.
Keep scrolling up. Zelensky was set off when Vance claimed Trump was attempting to engage in diplomacy, whereas President Joe Biden wasn't able to stop the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine and spent 4 years talking tough about Vladimir Putin. He occupied big parts of Ukraine, parts of the east and parts of Crimea. He occupied it in 2014, Zelensky responded, referring to Putin. During 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied it and took. He killed people. Zelensky added that he signed a ceasefire agreement with Russia in 2019, a treaty also signed by Germany and France. He claimed Putin had been violating that agreement by launching incursions and also not abiding by a prisoner swap deal. What kind of diplomacy, JD, are you talking about, Zelensky asked the vice president. I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country, Vance said. Scroll up,
Oh,
please.
sorry.
Up, up, up. When Zelensky, down, down, down,
Oh, nope, down.
down, 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 up, up, up. Okay, but down, down, down. And
Up,
this
up,
is how the
down,
show goes.
down, up,
No, you gotta
down,
go
left,
down.
right, turn around.
Go
Sorry.
down, down, down,
Go down.
down. You're going up, dear.
Oh,
Down.
I thought you meant go down the screen.
When Zelensky tried to cut in, Vance continued with, Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office to try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict, Vance added. Please go up.
1 second. Oh, I had to find my mouse. Whoops, there you are.
Okay, back down a little. Okay, we're good. Go up. Okay. Zelensky further angered Trump and Vance when he made a comment about the US having a nice ocean separating it from conflict. First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have a nice ocean and don't feel it now, but you will feel it in the future. Trump jumped in to say, Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. Up, please. You don't have the car. You don't
Oh,
have
sorry.
the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards, Trump said. In a post on Truth Social reflecting on the tense back and forth, Trump wrote, It's amazing what comes out through emotions, and I have determined that President Zelensky is not ready for peace if America is involved. Because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. I don't want advantage, I want peace. He disrespected the United States of America in its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he's ready for peace. Up, please.
Oh, wrong. Oh my God, wrong monitor.
After the cameras left the Oval Office, Zelensky went back to a holding room in the West Wing. He and Trump did not meet again.
So, how does this have to do with the person? Oh, here it is. Now we get
Hold
into
on.
what's the
Yeah.
point important.
National Security Advisor Michael Walls and back down, please.
Oh,
Down a little. Yeah, thank you. National Security Advisor Michael Walls and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who were in the Oval Office meeting, went and told Zelensky his meetings at the White House were over, a White House official said. Oh, that's interesting.
uh-huh.
The two leaders never had their scheduled lunch. White House reporters saw it sitting in the hallway outside the Oval Office, untouched.
Yep.
Ooh.
And
Trump and
the press pool ended up eating that food.
interesting. Trump and Zelensky had been scheduled to participate in a press conference later Friday. That was canceled. Zelensky was seen exiting the White House about 2 hours after his arrival. He then posted his own message on social media. Would you scroll up, please?
Sorry, my hand was cramping. I was trying to work out that cramp.
You're
How
fine.
far is it far enough
Right,
for a little?
you're good. Down a
Okay.
little. He wrote, "Thank you, America. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the visit. Thank you at POTUS, Congress, and the American people. Ukraine just needs and lasting peace, and we are working exactly for that." Zelensky left without signing a multi billion-dollar mineral deal that Trump has said would be the only security guarantee Ukraine will get. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, who visited the White House on Thursday, wanted to persuade Trump to provide air support for any European post conflict peacekeeping force in Ukraine. Trump has so far rebuffed this request, instead demanding that Zelensky sign the bilateral agreement that would give the United States access to valuable natural resources and rare earth minerals in Ukraine. The draft agreement suggests that in exchange, Ukraine would receive investment from the U.S. and continued security support.
Yep.
Is that
That's
it? Is that
yeah.
it? Okay.
Yep. But I don't see how the title had jack shit to do with the whole article you just read.
No, I'm sure if we clicked on some of these videos, let's hit play. Let's hear. We don't have to do the whole
It's
thing.
not in English, but let's hear it
Oh,
out.
that's the NATO chief, isn't in English?
Yeah, it's not. He does not speak English, so unless you can see the subtitles, you're not going to be able to read it.
Go ahead, hit it, and let's see if I see the subtitle.
Yep.
Ja, ik vond dat uiterst ongelukkig. Ik heb er ook een paar contact over gehad met,
I thought, oh no, that's way too fast.
kijken hoe
Yeah.
je je
And I can't pause it
relatie
without it going away.
opbouwt met
Yeah,
de Amerikaanse president. Want we moeten wel samen verder. Hè? Oekraïne, de Verenigde Staten, Europa natuurlijk, is heel belangrijk.
he's basically saying that NATO, we all have to work together to
Heeft
move
bijvoorbeeld
forward.
Yes.
niet beschikbaar gesteld. Oekraïne had geen
Look
kans
at
gehad
what
tegen de
Trump
Russen
has done in
in
the past.
februari
For
2022. Want
example,
Europa
he
had niks
made
gegeven.
those javelins
allemaal
available in
Amerika uit de Trump-presidency.
2019.
Maar
Right.
geef hem het krediet voor het feit dat hij dat deed. Dat is belangrijk. En vindt een weg om het weer met elkaar op te lossen.
Ukraine had no chance against Russia in February 2022 because Europe had given nothing.
Absoluut. En ik heb zelf
Oh, that's interesting. He's
heel
admitting it.
veel contact met de Amerikaanse regering. Als het daarna
It all came from America from the Trump
That's
presidency.
an
Het artikel. Maar ook een verwachting. En de verwachting is wel, hé jongens in Europa, jullie lopen wel achter met
He
de
should have
betalingen. En
given
ga
him
omhoog.
the
Want
credit also
er
for
dreigen grote
doing
gevaren. En
that.
vinden het ook eerlijk
That's important.
als Europa meer betaalt.
And find a way to resolve it together.
Okay, now
Ja, juist.
I'm going
Iedereen.
to take a maybe not so good position on this whole thing.
Uh-huh.
I don't really know what the expectation of the thank you was. Okay, so to me, it seems a little bit immature for both
Mhm.
the president and the vice president to say that publicly. Was Zelensky supposed to go in there and go, "Oh, thank you, America, thank you, Mr. President, thank you, JD"? I mean, I don't know what truly the expectation of the thank you was about. And did Zelensky know he was supposed to be like thankful, thankful, thankful? He said he was with Biden. I don't know if that's true or not, but did he think he was just walking in to have a meeting and he didn't know that he had to give this big, "Oh, thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody"? I kind of feel it was juvenile.
Yeah.
And I may be wrong, but I just feel that in those high positions like that, I'm not saying shit doesn't get heated or whatever, but
Yeah.
I just feel that as the president and the presidents of two countries, and you're telling me I have to come in and thank you for everything.
Yeah,
I
I'd
don't.
be like, hold
Yeah,
up.
like kiss my ass or whatever. I don't know. Am I wrong in feeling that way?
I don't know. I don't know if I mean, the apology thing kind of goes back to humbling him. To get him back
Okay.
to a humbled state. Kind of like when you shame a child and
Yeah.
you're like, you need to apologize, But my biggest thing is saying sorry or thank you when it's in a forced position.
Doesn't mean that you're sorry or
It doesn't
thankful.
mean it.
Yeah,
You're just saying
right,
it because you got to get what you want.
right. And I don't go for that. It has to come from the heart. If it doesn't come from the heart, then it means jack shit.
Yep. That's what I tell my kids. Don't say sorry to me. Change your behavior.
Right.
I don't want to hear the word sorry. I want to hear a change of behavior.
Or not even a change in behavior. It might be inappropriate behavior, but it's the apology that's sincere, that I'm
Yeah.
sorry that I did that. Right?
Yeah, well, I can live without apologies because of how I was raised, where
Right.
false apologies were for everything, but an apology was also followed with that kind of scorpion tail thing. It wasn't
Hmm.
a sincere apology, it's just a backhanded way to hurt you more.
Right.
And so that's
Now,
why I don't
again,
like the word sorry.
and that's not to say that behavior isn't corrected, you know what I mean, at that time, but I'm looking for, a sincere thank you. Like, don't tell me, hey, thanks or whatever, or hey, I'm sorry when you don't mean it. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
then it means absolutely nothing. And then that means the relationship has been phony from the get go.
Yes. And this is where I am at. It's like, it's all a show. All of this is just a show right now.
And that's
Trump
what,
is serious,
right,
but the rest of the world is just putting on a show to get more money, get more weapons, get America to protect them from their big bad bully that they keep poking. Like, I don't know. I'm probably wrong, but here's the thing: America elected Trump because we were sick of this shit.
right.
And now
And I
is
mean,
the clown
don't get me
show that we
wrong.
have to go through to get where we want to be.
Yeah, I was highly entertained. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah, I needed popcorn for that one.
I was like, damn, we need more of this shit. You
Get
know
me
what I
some
mean?
pizza, popcorn, and
Yep,
nachos, and I can watch it over and over and over again.
exactly. We just need to have more and more of it, you know? I
I
mean,
think we're gonna see a lot more of it in the near
right,
future.
right.
So,
I got to put my mic on mute for a second. I'll be right back.
all right, I'm gonna go ahead and cover
Go
what,
ahead. Go ahead.
he has. Why? I don't
I
have
don't know
ad
what.
blocker on. Wait, click the shield icon. What? Hold on. Click on the shield icon on the left side of the address bar. I don't have one. I legit don't have one. Um, I don't know what to say. Um, I don't have one. Why are they telling me I have one when I don't? I don't know what to do. Oh, I think I know. Hold on. Got it. I figured it out. There we go. It's because I have third-party cookies blocked. Okay, let's refresh this. No. Oh my god. Oh, you guys are fucking kidding me. Oh my god. I just want to read this. I don't want to have to go through all my settings to read it. What the hell? I don't even know where the fuck these settings are. Oh my god. I hate this crap. Okay, let's see if this works. Are we good? I think we got it this time. All right. Yes, we have it. Finally. So, NATO member Norway will continue to supply U.S. fuel to Navy. Am I sharing this? No, I'm not. Why? Because I'm a dumbass today. I apologize. I am really apologizing. So, NATO member Norway will continue to supply fuel for U.S. Navy ships. The country's defense minister said on Sunday after a call from a private marine fuel supplier to stop doing so in response to the apparent breakdown of the U.S. Ukraine relations. We have seen reports raising concerns about support for the U.S. Navy vessels in Norway. This is not the time for Norwegian government's policies. Norway Defense Minister, I am not pronouncing that, said in a statement. Let me enlarge this so I can see a little bit better. It is way too small. Okay, so American forces will continue to receive the supply and support they require from Norway, he added. He issued a statement after a privately held Norwegian fuel supplier, another one I'm not pronouncing, said that it would stop supplying U.S. Navy's ships in response to the nonsense Friday. Huge credit to the president of Ukraine restraining himself and for keeping calm. I can't finish reading that.
Go ahead.
Oh my God.
Figure it out.
I gotta read this bullshit.
Yes, you do.
Oh my God. Keeping calm, even though USA put on a backstabbing TV show, it made us sick. No fuel to Americans, the company said in a now deleted Facebook post. Yeah. Okay. So that was Zelenskyy calm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The CEO, it looks like Gunnar Gran is how it's pronounced, or Groan.
Correct. Graham.
Um, well, I
Graham.
don't know. It's Norwegian, so it might be pronounced as an O. The A could be pronounced as an O. Confirmed to a Norwegian paper that the company made a decision not to supply the U.S. military, but said the move would have a symbolic impact as it didn't have a fixed contract. The company did not immediately respond to what's his face's request. Oh, the newspaper's request for comment, and that's it. They actually. Oh my God, I had to laugh at that. But okay, so the Norwegian government is not backing that idiotic boycott. And yeah, people are idiots. That's all I got to say. People are idiots. Um,
I think now it's time for Norway to have a little visit in the Oval Office.
Yeah, I am beginning to agree. I actually kind of agree. I think there needs to be some conversation here.
Mm-hmm.
Very much. And this nonsense needs to stop.
And
So,
I think that's really why Trump put on the show, right?
yeah, I think it was well worth it. And
Yeah. And I don't think it phased him
videos
one
play.
bit.
Oh, good point, Outlaw. It did sound like a threat.
Mm-hmm.
It really did. And this is why we need to say enough of this nonsense as a nation. Like Arby said, it's time for us to become a nation again.
Correct.
This
I
bullshit.
mean, we have enough fuel in our own country to take care of ourselves. What are we doing contracts with Norway for now?
Because it's really hard for us
I
in
know.
America to get onto the other side of the world to drop off diesel to a submarine.
Well,
Yeah.
I realize that, but if you don't want to play with us in the sandbox, take your shit and go home.
Well, but again, the government is not happy, and I guarantee that company's going to lose their contract over this.
Oh, I know they are. Yeah, and then who's going to be sorry? It's always about nobody's thinking about. They're doing reactionary type statements, and they're
Yep.
not thinking about how it's affecting them. And like we said, you might tell me that you're sorry, but guess what? If I can find another company, I'm going to go with them probably.
Yep. And here's the thing: is what's as much as Zelensky may have been trying to make Trump look like a Putin supporter, he also made himself look like a dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who the hell set him up to behave that way, to go in acting like he was king shit and he was going to boss the president and the vice president around in the Oval Office.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whoever set him up for that was really stupid.
Well,
Or
we
he's
know
just that stupid himself.
our man, Lindsey Graham, his best friend, did it.
Yeah, but Lindsey Graham went and just tucked his tail and turned around and ran and said, "Oh, Trump did great," because
Yeah,
guess what? He was about to
I
get his ass
wouldn't.
chewed for.
I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him in his high heels.
I know what you mean. I
You
know
know.
it. And this is what I keep talking about. Why are we depending on politicians to get shit done? They can
Mm-hmm.
never get shit done and they can't do it right. Trump and Vance are the first two in the White House that I have seen to actually publicly let it be known they ain't playing games. If
Right.
only Russia's side of getting their ass chewed had been public so everyone could
Right.
see it was balanced. This shit was on purpose. It was staged. I
Well,
don't think Trump
even if it
staged it. I
wasn't,
think
it might.
Zelensky tried.
Yeah, it might not necessarily had to have been balanced. It could have been that Putin was more, uh,
Civilized.
civilized about it, acclimated to, having a conversation versus, this crybaby bullshit,
Yep.
you know. So it might not have been necessary, he might have, I'm sure, he showed up in a suit and he knew how to act,
No, but instead he shows up in this sweatshirt
Right,
and
right.
military garb looking pants,
Mm-hmm.
acting like a jackass. No wonder. And again, everyone's been saying it. Come back in a suit. See if he does.
Right. We'll see when he comes back.
Yep. But
All right. What else?
I am exhausted.
'Cause
We've
it's
been doing this
also
for an hour.
just so you know, it's also pot roasts Sunday, so I had to give the how to do gravy on
People still, well, some people do not know how to make gravy, and it is a very fine balance. And you got to mix that shit good as you dump it in the flour or cornstarch so it doesn't become lumpy. And we lost D. Um, I don't know what happened, so I'm going to assume we're just going to call it a day, and I will catch her on Discord. So, yeah, let's go ahead, hit this outro, and I will see y'all next one. So with that, I thank you all for showing up, being here. And as usual, stay safe, stay sane, stay sober. I truly appreciate those who showed up and those who are going to be watching later on. I will catch y'all on the next one.